There have been a ton of shakeups at Disney over the past several weeks. And when you look at the last year, how can you doubt that there would be shakeups? Stock at a multi-year low, losing nearly half of its value from the year prior. When you look at the parks, a disappointment. When you look at the box office results, massive disappointments and even flops for Marvel and for everything else with Disney. And of course, the streaming services losing $1.5 billion in just the past 3 months. So it shouldn't be surprising that there's discussions of some big restructuring at Marvel as well, because quite frankly, phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, was a complete and total disaster for Disney, with disappointments at the box office, with straight out flops at the box office, and of course, a streaming service that simply can't make money for them because people aren't tuning in. So now we're starting to hear reports like this. New rumor claims Marvel Studios is reevaluating its release lineup for phases 5 and 6 over concerns about poor quality. And one of the biggest problems, I think, is just the multitude of stuff they have. Like, it seems like every week there was something going on for Marvel on Disney Plus, and that's their strategy. They want to keep people subscribed to Disney Plus, but it's almost like they're just completely overextending everything. Their VFX artists are worked to death, so everything that comes out looks like shit. And on top of that, all of it is filled with woke propaganda, which, quite frankly, people are just sick and tired of. A new rumor claims that the Walt Disney Company and Marvel Studios are looking at changing their release lineup for their upcoming Phase 5 and 6 films and television shows over internal concerns about the poor quality of shows and movies in Phase 4. This rumor comes on the heels of the Walt Disney Company announcing that Iger has returned and is replacing Bob Chapek. Along with the announcement of Iger's return, the Walt Disney Company revealed in an SEC filing they'd be making significant changes to the company's structure, specifically how it approaches distributing its content. As contemplated by leadership change, we anticipate in the coming months, Mr. Iger will initiate organizational and operating changes within the company to address the board's goals. While the plans are early in stages, changes to our structure and operations, including within DMED and including possibly our distribution approach and business distributing platforms selected, can be expected. So to me, what that's talking about is between Disney Plus, between the cable channels, between the box office, things like that. That's what that means to me. The restructuring and change in business strategy, once determined, could result in impairment charges, it adds. For those unfamiliar with DMED, it stands for Disney Media and Entertainment Divisions and is one of Walt Disney's main segments, the other being the Disney Parks. As noted in the company's website, and exactly what I said, what I was talking about, DMED manages operations for the company's streaming services as well as all of their different distribution network and engineering operations. So across everything, where are you going to put this out? Where is this thing, this piece of content going to put out? Where's it going to be distributed to? Following this confirmation, a rumor from the Cosmos Circus claims Marvel Studios is currently reevaluating its release lineup. The site adds, as Phase 4 comes to a close, we've been informed of the internal negative feedback about how Phase 4 was handled regarding product distribution and quality. Yeah, you don't need an internal memo or anything to know that. People fucking hated Phase 4. Phase 4 has been a massive flop for Disney and for Marvel. A huge drop-off, not just in the box office, but also with this streaming crap. In order to correct the poor performance of Phase 4 films and television, Marvel Studios will be implementing a quality over quantity approach to these phases. And that's where I'm like, I don't know how much I believe this. I don't know how much I believe that they're going to back off some of the garbage that they intend to put out. One of the changes the site claims Marvel Studios will implement is a change in the release schedule, as well as changes in format of various projects. They note that similar to Zaslav axing various DC projects like Batgirl, Marvel Studios could do the same. In the most extreme and unlikely of cases, a postponement or outright cancellation of a project could occur if it doesn't align with Marvel's plans. Not a surprise to anyone, but the biggest of Marvel shills that Marvel Studios fare following Avengers Infinity War has been subpar. Yeah, I mean, look at some of these things. Black Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi. 3 of these movies are in the worst 5 movies ever put out in terms of total box office results from Marvel. And a lot of them cost a lot of money. Black Widow, $200 million. Eternals, $200 million. Now, Shang-Chi only cost between $150 and $175. It barely eked out a profit. But these other movies lost a shit ton of money. Lost $100 million for Disney. When you look at something like Thor: Love and Thunder, a movie that needed, $650, almost $700 million to break even with that type of budget, only gets to $745. Now, you got to look at something like Spider-Man No Way Home, massive, huge, phenomenal success, $2 billion. Unfortunately, of all the profits from that, Marvel only gets 25% because that was a Sony movie. That was a Sony movie, and that is one of the biggest problems right now with these Phase 4 things. There's so many flops, and there's just not enough positives in the box office to take Phase 4 and say, hey, what a grand success. Not only did Phase 4 not bring people to the box office, there's some of the poorest rated films on IMDb. Yeah, we know a lot of the ratings for these movies across the board were horrific for Disney. Definitely more failures than they had successes in Phase 4. So if this is actually, sent a message to people saying, hey, maybe we need to reevaluate what the fuck we're doing. Phase 4 was just that bad. I would not be surprised if there's a little bit of that. I'd be a lot surprised if it was a total overhaul and total restructure, because I think they're committed for the long haul for this. I think that even with the failures of Phase 4, this is exactly what they wanted. Kevin Feige, Victoria Alonso said, we want to push identity politics ahead of entertainment. I don't think they care too much how the bottom line's affected, as long as they're not completely losing money. If that does happen, if Phase 4 was that bad that Disney's looking at it and saying, hey, I know we want to push your shit, but we just can't push it anymore, maybe that's the only thing that would make Marvel change their tune. But right now, with the people in charge, quite frankly, I just don't see that happening.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.